What's up, retro gamers? You're listening to Game Overcast Episode 5. Today, we're going to be talking about our favorite co-op games, plus Fear Effect, N64 development woes, and an interview with a video games as therapy advocate. Walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells, grapes, lemons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah! You know what that's from?
No.
Do you know what that's from?
It's got to be DK.
DK64.
I figured it was DK, but
That's one of my games that I'm playing right now.
I wasn't prepared for that.
I had something else there until the last minute I changed it. I had the entire Donkey Kong section of that rap memorized just for this podcast.
Do it.
Do it right now?
You have to do it now.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So, he's the leader of the bunch. You know him well. He's finally back to kick some tail. His coconut guns can fire in spurts. If he shoots ya, it's gonna hurt. He's bigger, faster, and stronger too. He's the first member of the DK crew. Huh.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Impressive.
Yeah, I kind of want to write like a DK rap for everybody who's in the podcast every episode, but it literally would take me all day, so I'm not going to do that.
I think it's probably for the best.
Well, let's intro you guys because you're just a bunch of disembodied voices right now. To my right is Michael.
Hi.
The irregular
I'm irregular.
podcast guy who's here sometimes.
Yeah.
And then to my left is our guest this week, which is Selah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Your awesome purple hair.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Selah, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what your gaming habits are so we can sort of put a face, quote unquote, face to the name.
Cool. Yeah. So, semi-brief summary. I kind of missed out on some of the retro games like NES and SNES growing up. Actually, my first console was the PlayStation 1. So, I'm kind of in love with Crash Bandicoot, which I know you love so much, Dan. But
Yeah, little known fact.
I like Crash, okay?
I'm wearing Crash underwear right now.
Oh, beautiful. The crates. Yeah.
TMI.
Anyway, so, yeah, kind of Spyro, Croc, Rayman. And then I kind of moved on to the PS2 with Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper.
Oh, we should have had you on last week. We did a whole Ratchet and Clank thing, and nobody knew what to talk about.
I told her that. I was like, oh my God, she's played the new one, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but I kind of tend to like games that are a little bit innovative in terms of their like artistic directions and mechanics and stuff like that. And
So tons of Call of Duty and Halo.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Not copy and paste at all.
No. Shots fired. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
Awesome. Are you into like the Skylanders stuff now because of Spyro? Is that not really up here?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not into the Skylanders thing. I kind of think that's where Spyro tipped off.
Well, that's sort of like that's where a lot of Spyro fans sort of like decided, no, I'm not into Spyro anymore. And then a whole new generation of Spyro fans were like, wait, Spyro's cool.
Yeah.
And like, it's not even the same people who were into Spyro originally. So
No, 100%.
why even call it Spyro at this
Well,
point?
now it's for kids, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Feels like they kind of use the Spyro name just to kind of bump
Right.
Skylanders along.
Yeah.
Hey,
especially in the
it's
beginning.
recognizable.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah. That's
I
cool.
have a few corrections from last episode. We talked about this comic that was coming out about the Super Nintendo game Plok. I'm going to spell it again because it's really hard to hear. P-L-O-K, Plok, for the Super Nintendo.
PLOK.
Yep. They're coming out with a comic. It is available on Comixology.com, and it is digital only. So don't try to go buy a physical copy of it unless you print it out yourself, because that's not a thing, and I said it was. So I'm
That
very
sucks.
sorry for the millions and millions of people out there who tried to go buy a physical copy.
Our
of-
one
of
listener
a
was like
super
at the
obs-
comic store, like, "Arr."
super of this really
cow.
obscure Super Nintendo game comic book. So yeah, it's like $10, so it's not that big of a deal.
That's
but
still cool,
it's-
though.
No,
yeah, it's
that's
fine.
good.
You can zoom in
yeah.
if it's an e-comic.
We have some very sad news regarding the Calico Chameleon this week.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Chris, oh man, why do people have weird names?
Sound it out.
Chris Naudis reported on Engadget that the Calico Holdings, which is the company, the owner of the Calico brand name, announced that they have withdrawn their name and all Calico branding from the project.
Aw.
They stated Retro, which is the company that started the project, Retro Video Games, has decided that The work that they have created is not sufficient to demonstrate this time. Consequently, we can no longer proceed with the project, and all the Chameleon project will be terminated.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
This separation is amicable. We wish Retro luck in the future. So maybe they're still going to work on stuff. It's just that Chameleon or Coleco doesn't want their hands in it anymore.
I think it just kind of had a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like too many bad things were like focused on. I think they probably just need to go back to the beginning, start with a different branding. I bet they'll come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the people behind it are friends of Game Over, so it was sad to see this project take that kind of a turn.
Right.
But I mean, we'll see. I guess we'll see in the future what happens with that.
Yeah, I feel like that they could just probably needs to,
Clean the slate.
Yeah, clean
Start
the
over.
slate. Like pop stars do. Like Britney.
Totally clean the slate.
No, for real.
Yeah.
She had a really bad 2007. Freaked out, and look at her now.
That is a reference that nobody who listens to this podcast will get.
I get it.
Bum, bum, bum.
You get it. Everybody knows Britney shaved her head. Who doesn't know Britney shaved her head?
That's a good point.
That was 2007.
I knew that she shaved her head.
Yeah, she had a meltdown.
She got all of her hair back.
I don't even like Britney, but it's a good.
So
Whatever.
speaking of Britney Spears, a YouTuber on YouTube named Arcadion Luminos brought this to our attention. We were talking about Spyro last time, and we incorrectly named Captain Quark. We said Captain.
Quark?
No. We said Captain.
Quasar.
We said Quasar. But
And it's
Quasar is Quark's evil twin. And
Ooh,
we
this
got
is
that wrong. I
complicated.
know,
I like
it
it.
is.
I
Yeah,
know.
we said Quasar. His name is actually Captain Quark. So thank you, Arcadion Luminos. Your name is hard to say fast. For bringing that to our attention. And if you see something wrong, in our podcast, and
See
you can,
something?
and you
Say
can see
something.
sound, if you have the ability to see sound, and you see something wrong in our podcast,
A,
please
you're
bring it-
superhuman.
Yeah, you're able to bring it to our attention. It's great.
And B, let us know.
Do both of those things. Yes. So Michael, what are you playing these days?
I started playing Fire Emblem Conquest. I bought it when it came out, and then I actually started playing it again because my queue right now is weird, but I like it, and everything's purple, like your hair.
Like my hair.
Yeah, dude, because
Nice.
it's really sad, but like that was one of the big deciding factors. I know it's dumb, but like I looked at the two different games, and I looked at the family, like the wholesome family, and then I looked at like the mean evil family, and I was like, they just look better.
Conquest, the harder one, right? Or the
Yeah.
second part, I guess, is
I mean,
technically.
it just doesn't have like how the first one you had a lot of opportunities to like level up. It just doesn't give you that. But you can do the DLC stuff, and if you're cheap, you get the free DLC and you just spam that and level up.
Spam it.
Spam it.
Is it? I played a little bit of Awakening. Don't know why. I don't know, something about, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't love it, but I played a little bit of Awakening. Is it anything like that? It's pretty much the same kind of
Yeah.
dealio.
It's more that and more.
More
But
of
now
that.
it has like so much, like 3 different storylines pretty much, and then they all intertwine, and you find out the whole story once you've played all of them.
Cool. Are you going to get the third part, Revelations?
Yeah. It's just, if it's going to take me as long as it take me to get through Awakening, no, it'll be a while.
Yeah.
But the problem with Awakening is because you could do all this side stuff to level up. So like I literally just fought people I met on the street all the time and didn't even do main storyline, and then realized I was like, oh, I should do the main storyline. And then I was so high leveled that I just knocked everybody down.
I don't know why I didn't like Awakening. I don't know what I expected. Maybe I was just into other things at the time, because you kind of have to be in a mood to play like a super in-depth like tactics RPG.
It's true.
Yeah, and I was
Rock, paper,
not-
scissors.
I was in the middle of like Mario Maker had just come out when I started playing it, and I was like, I want to do that.
Mario Maker though is very artistic, and you're very artistic. I could see
Thank you.
I could see you getting sucked into that.
I totally was.
That's the only compliment I'll give
yeah.
you.
It's very addicting.
Ever.
Oh.
Boom.
You jinx. You can't say anything for the rest of the podcast. Sayla, what are you playing these days?
Well, I just picked up the new Ratchet and Clank, of course.
Okay, you can talk, Michael.
All right,
Sorry.
thanks.
All right.
I couldn't do it. I was holding my breath.
I know. Okay, so sorry. So the new Ratchet and Clank.
Yes, and honestly, I've played all the Ratchet and Clank games. It's pretty much the Ratchet and Clank I've been waiting for a really
It looks
long time.
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's really.
I heard
really
people saying
gorgeous.
that the game looks better than the movie, like
Yeah.
graphically, which is funny.
I know it really, they're definitely using, like the PBR and all the new, so all the metals look super shiny and awesome. I I don't know. It's definitely a great reimagining. Like, I know, like, a lot of people were kind of upset because Ratchet's changed his whole demeanor. Like, in the first game, he was, like, super sassy Ratchet. Like,
Right.
I don't want to be a hero. But, you know, he's a lot more relatable in this reimagining. So I think it's a good
more of a
move.
hero.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
He's more willing to be a hero.
That's good, though. I mean, they'd have to change it a little bit. Otherwise, they're just playing the same game.
How
Yeah.
close does it follow like plot or like, you know? I know the way that they meet is different. That's as far as I know.
Yeah. They kind of meet the same as the first game. It's kind of like, you know, the ship crashes and Clank's there, Ratchet
Oh,
finds
so
him.
it is the same.
It is the same.
Okay.
A lot of it is the same. They left some like planets out, you know, no spoilers, but I like what they did with Clank. They kind of changed him up a little bit more. They feel like more of a bond between each other, kind of like a duo.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a great game.
New weapons?
New weapons, yeah.
I saw the 8-bit something.
Yes, the
That looks-
Pixelizer.
the Pixelizer, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. That one is kind of a new one. Then they have a lot of the old ones, like the Bouncer and Zircon, and they brought back another Rhino, which they have every game. It's really fun. It's really good. I recommend it.
That's awesome. I love when they take old properties like that and sort of just, I mean, update the controls, because the controls in the first Ratchet game were like you couldn't strafe. It was very like, ooh, you know. So going back to play that game is kind of hard. So it's cool that new people who haven't experienced the first game can play it with modern like mechanics. you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, since it's a reimagining and it's a complete reboot. So if you've ever been interested in Ratchet and Clank, now is the time to jump on. Because they'll be around for a while. They've been, I think Ratchet and Clank and Final Fantasy are the two longest running like series and franchises. So it's actually
that's
really
cool.
interesting. There are a couple of the most that have the most games out per.
That's true.
So
Huh.
now's the time to jump on.
Interesting stat. I'm going to look that up.
Do.
And
I
give
think
you
it's
a
in the Guinness
correction
Book
next
of World
episode.
Records,
Wow.
I think.
That's cool.
So
Awesome. I beat Twilight Princess. Yay. I saved Hyrule again. So I feel good about that.
I'm really happy for you.
I beat it really quickly. Like I remember the first time I played Twilight Princess, it was really hard.
Will they take out that long quest in the middle where you're collecting bugs?
You don't have to collect the bugs.
You don't?
No, you just get that to get a bigger wallet. You do that to get a bigger wallet. I did the first level big wallet, and then I was like, I'm not going to go around and collect all these
I
bugs.
guess I got sucked.
The big fetch quest in this game is you have to, okay, spoilers if you haven't played Twilight Princess, skip ahead 15 seconds.
Spoilers, Link saves the kingdom.
You have to no, you have to use the rod of Dominion to move these owls out of the way to like collect something. And
Okay.
there's like a bunch of them all around the map,
Yeah.
but they tell you exactly where they are. So it's not like the Triforce quest in Wind Waker where you're trying to find where all these things are. You know exactly where they are. It doesn't take very long. I just forgot how every single thing in this game is a dungeon. Like you go like at the very end, still spoilers, you get to the Twilight Realm and like there's those 3 buildings and that's basically a dungeon. And then you get to Hyrule Castle, defeat Ganon, and that's another dungeon. So you do all 8 of the main dungeons and then there's 2 more dungeons waiting for you. I mean, it's dungeons after dungeon.
Did
and
you
they're all
beat
really
it-
unique and I really appreciate that.
Did you beat it on the regular when it first came out?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like Wind Waker, did they officially streamline something? Like, because you know how they did
I don't think that they'd streamlined anything. And I don't remember.
It's
It'd be
pretty much
really
the
hard to
same.
know. Yeah.
Because I only ever got to that bug part.
The things that really affected it were
I did.
that was
I was,
it. No more.
I was just like, I rage quit. I was just like, I can't collect bugs. I'm over it. I
No,
think I
well,
was like done.
then you missed
I missed a lot.
You missed the Twilight Princess reveal at the very end, which
I
is
know,
beautiful.
But I
She's
already
great.
know. I mean,
She's hot.
I played Legends. I mean,
Dim Pollies.
But I think the only things that were really notable that they changed were Link climbs faster,
that's important.
which is a godsend.
For
Yes.
real.
Yeah, and then, I mean, the controls are way different because I played it on the Wii. But I think that as far as like that goes, it's like the same as GameCube.
I should get it.
The camera really pissed me off though. They should have updated that camera control because it was not good. I've been playing this game called Star Ghost. It's a downloadable game on the Wii U, on the eShop. It's exclusive to the Wii U, which is cool. It was developed by a former Rare and Retro Studios guy. Totally forget his name right now. But his studio is called Squarehead Studios, so look that up. He's really talented. He's a programmer, so he does a lot with like physics, and he plays with like enemies and stuff like that. Anyway, the game is basically like a shmup, except you kind of reverse your controls, where instead of A being fire, A is your thrust, and when you thrust, you sort of shoot up to the screen. It's like if you're playing Balloon Fight, except you don't have to keep tapping A, you just hold A and you shoot up.
Nice.
and you let go and you shoot down. So that's the like thrust controls, and you sort of move forward at this pace, and you can't change it. Flappy Bird's another sort of game like that, but you're not tapping anything; you're holding it down.
Did you just compare it to Flappy Bird?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm
to
really
speak
excited
excitedly,
now.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a phenomenon.
And then you're firing.
That's true. It was a phenomenon.
Your firing is automatic, so you just keep firing, and there's no button for it, except you use the left control stick to sort of aim, like move your gun a little bit so you can change where it's shooting. And then if you hold backwards, you have a tractor field, which helps you sort of collect items and money and stuff, and credits is what it's called. And so you go through these procedurally generated levels, which are really smartly made, where it's not just like random. Like if you go through a cavern, it's really narrow. Enemies will come into the narrow part instead of just like going where they normally go, because they know that like they can't go outside the cavern or whatever.
They're learning. They're following.
Well, they're trying to kill you. They're getting smarter.
They're getting smarter.
And it was really fun. Like, it's super arcadey. You get halfway, you finish the level and you can buy upgrades and stuff.
That's cool.
I mean,
I
That's
like
always
arcadey,
fun.
Yeah.
it's really, really good. And you want to play through it multiple times to try to get a higher score.
Right.
No real online presence. Like, there's not even a leaderboard. I really wish there was an online leaderboard, because I want to know how well I'm doing versus the whole world.
You want to hate yourself because you're not as good as that guy.
For sure. No, I'm so good. I bet I'd be number one. He just gave Sayla this glare. Like,
I was gonna say,
wow,
you can't
Dan's-
hear my glare.
Dan's an idiot. I wish you could hear glares. I could glare at you through the phone. That's wonderful. That's what they sound like. Is glare a Pokemon move?
Yes.
What does it sound like when that happens?
I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
That's what. Yeah.
Surprising.
I'm also playing Donkey Kong 64.
I guessed that one
Yeah.
with the rap.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you said that. at the
I did
beginning,
say it
too.
at the beginning. Super fun. There's a lot of hate for this game because it was probably the biggest collect fest any game has ever been. It was
Right.
basically like, I can't even name everything you collect. There's bananas, there's coins, there's like oranges, there's ammo, there's musical notes. Or not musical notes, I guess there's the headphones. But there's every C button is a different weapon, and you have an instrument, and then you have a gun, and then you have grenades, and then you have like your special move or whatever. And there's 5 characters, and they all have different things. So it's like inventory overload. And I'm really starting to actually get into it. After the first 3 worlds, it really starts to pick up. But before that, you're kind of just like trying to get all the characters so you actually have fun with it. Yeah, I have fond memories of it, so it's a retro buy for me. Most people who play it fresh are going to think that the camera controls are weird. Oh, here's a weird thing. So most games, the N64 had a really interesting controller, not because of the like shape or anything, but because it had A and B and then 4 C buttons.
Right.
And a lot of times games would map those C buttons to certain things. So in Donkey Kong 64, for instance, each of those buttons is a different weapon. It's not a camera. Like when you hold Z and press 1, it's a different weapon. So what I did is I took my gamepad and luckily on the virtual console for the Wii U, you can like remap all your buttons. Select plus and minus are A and B, and then A, B, X, Y are the 4 C buttons. And that's the way I have to play because there's no other way to access all 4 of those buttons.
How do you pause it then?
I just did L and R.
Oh, okay.
And then ZL and ZR are my L and R for the game.
Okay.
So, because I'm not going to if I want to pause it, that's not something I have to do quickly. It's just whatever. So my fingers and so my hands are in this weird position where I'm stretching my hands to get to A and B, which are plus and minus. Anyway, that's my little rant about N64 games on the Wii U. I even looked up this $30 adapter to plug a freaking N64 controller into the USB slot of a Wii U to play, or no, into the Wii remote to use an N64 controller.
Yeah.
But there's no way I'm going to spend that money.
How much?
$30. Yeah. That's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had those.
Yeah. I also started Star Fox Zero. Anybody else?
I was going to ask you if you'd started it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you
Okay.
played it?
I haven't played it.
I'm behind.
I've heard people talking about it. Mixed
Yeah, I
feelings.
wanna know.
mixed-
I'm not. So I'm only 4 or 5 levels in because I haven't had any time. And it's really hard to get a really good handle on. It's
All
very
that's
much.
going on.
There's just too. And I think you just kind of have to slow down when you play, because when I play Star Fox I kind of want to go everywhere and shoot everything and go crazy and do barrel rolls all day long, but you really have to be methodical about what you're doing when you first start out, because you ostensibly have to keep your eye on both screens. It's not like Splatoon
Right.
where you can glance down every once in a while. Like, that's your aiming. Like, it's almost impossible to aim at anything looking at the front screen because your reticle's off. Your reticle is only exactly on point on your gamepad. So you're using your motion controls to aim down here to look around you, which is really, really useful in all range mode, by the way. Like, this totally changes the all range mode game. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing your tunnel shooting, when you're going down your on rails, it's really like weird, and like I'm still trying to get used to it. I love
it like virtual reality, but just not on your face.
The gamepad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if like
Maybe you could just buy
People-
one of those cardboard contraptions and like tape the pad to your face.
but then I have to
bend
look
it
up
around your
but you
head.
have to look up
But
at the
you can
screen
do
every
it
once
maybe
in a
like
while.
half of your face, like have it low so you can see like up above and then look down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
I'm gonna patent this.
Okay.
Okay.
Good idea. It's called Google Cardboard.
It will be called the
Yeah.
the Wii box.
But it's spelled WEE because Wii is copyrighted.
Right.
The Wii box.
Oh yeah.
But that's like the Boo box from Hook. With the
Yeah.
scorpions.
There you go. The
Yep.
Wii box.
And we've come full circle.
By Michael.
Anyway, I think I just have to spend more time on it. People have said like the more you get into it, it's kind of like learning like a brand new like.
No, right, totally.
It's like learning to drive for the first time, where you're
Right.
like, wait, I have to use 2 feet, like where, like driving a
Yeah.
stick, you know. So you kind of just have to get used to it, and I'm getting there. The best thing I did so far was the fight with Starwolf. Like, that was an all range mode thing, and I felt really good at that point. That was the last thing I played, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to slowly get the hang of it. But there's still moments where like I'm looking down here and I get hit, and I'm like, I didn't know what hit me. What am I doing? And then you get crazy. So I would say if you're gonna get it, just know that you're gonna spend some time on it to like really get used
How does
to
it look?
I like it.
Because I remember
I don't
people were
mind it.
complaining when it was revealed that.
Graphics aren't something that I tend to like put too much stock into.
I mean,
Which is okay with Nintendo,
yeah,
honestly.
but I mean, is it like better? I don't know.
like to me,
I didn't think it looked.
to me,
bad.
the only way that graphics matter are if they're muddled and I can't see what's going on. Like if the graphics don't support what the game is supposed to be doing gameplay wise, then you've lost me.
Right.
But everything's very clear. The enemies look different from the background. You know, like that to me is pretty much what matters. So
Yeah.
I can play an NES game and be just as happy as I am playing Star Fox Zero
Yeah.
in that respect.
Cool.
I love how they used like the puppet, like they did kind of like stop motion in the windows to kind of call back to the old game.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Most of the same voice actors too, which is cool.
Yeah, that's pretty rad too.
Yeah.
Kind of on theme though, that I heard that the co-op was actually really good.
Yes. Okay. So me and my buddy did the co-op on his system because I haven't unlocked it yet or whatever. I think you have to unlock it and I can't find it anyway.
it's a button.
It really does.
just like a button on
yeah,
there.
it's just like co-op button. It's on the back of the Wii U gamepad for every game. We played 1 or 2 levels just because there wasn't much time, but it really, I mean, it's super fun. Like it's great having like a pilot and then having like a gunner, and you can be like, shoot those guys, and you're like, look where you're going, and like
That
you're
seems
yelling
like
at each
the,
other the
like-
whole time.
what it
Yeah.
was made for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've heard. Is it sounds like it was made for co-op, and then secondary was kind of the
Because
single.
it seems like it'd be hard, like you said, to be like
Oh man.
looking
Yeah.
at both screens.
It's definitely weird because Nintendo's so, like the first time you play the Wii, like you just get it. You're like, oh, I swing it like a tennis racket, you know? Or the first time,
What?
The first time that you had a lock on Ocarina of Time, like the first
Right.
time you did a lock on attacking, you were like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Like I get it instantly.
It's natural.
This is not like that. It's very much like you have to practice and you have to like get used to this because this is something that like you have to like think in 3D space all the time, and it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Wow, I don't know what it's like to live in 3D space. It must be
Crazy.
crazy.
I hate you. That's about it for me. The next segment is we're gonna do a thing and then another thing. We're gonna do an interview with Elizabeth Silvas, which was pre-recorded. You guys don't know that. It's just gonna be like one long show for y'all who are listening. Our first episode that we ever did on this podcast was about Sonic the Hedgehog, and Elizabeth was one of the first people to reach out and be like, hey, like Sonic was part of my life. This is
That's
a cool
awesome.
thing that I did. I won't spoil anything for you guys if you don't know. Yeah, so she's an advocate for using video games as therapy, and she speaks on panels on the topic. She shared her story through, everywhere. She's on social media and everything. You guys can look her up after you listen to the interview. So without further ado, here is Elizabeth Silvas's story. How are you doing, Elizabeth?
I am doing really well. How are you doing?
Awesome. Great. Good. Thank you so much for doing this interview. I can't wait just to share your story with everyone. And I know that they're going to be as interested as I am in what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So just talk a little bit about your history. You were young.
Well, the problem is that ever since I was a little girl, I was always sick, of course. And
Mhm.
your pediatrician says, "Oh, just allergies, such and such and such." But once I started to reach about the age of 9 years old, I would start to have other symptoms. Like I would just start to have like really awkward headaches, and they would come and go. I would sometimes start to get like a little dizzy, or I would get like what do you call it, vertigo, where you're like dizzy.
Yeah.
And that would happen throughout my ninth year. And then when I started to reach the age of 10, it started to become worse. And it would start to really affect me in school. My grades were never the best in school, but when you start to get D's and F's and it's affecting you that badly, it's not really your fault. No matter if teachers say it was my fault, it
Mhm.
wasn't my fault. I would tell my parents, I feel really sick. I have really bad headaches now, and I'm getting more dizzy, and now when I eat, I'm throwing everything up.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
There must have been a lot of social, like, how did your friends react, or did you have friends?
I didn't have friends because I was always a loner, and that's because the popular girls in school would say, "Oh, well, I don't like her." So guess what? All their friends are gonna say, "I don't like her either." So
Yeah.
I was always a loner.
Yeah, that sounds
So
like middle school.
yeah. Oh no. This was back in elementary school.
Oh, yeah, even worse.
Oh yeah, and so if you tell the teachers you're sick, and they have the popular kid in their classroom, the popular kid will always speak and be like, "She's faking." So of course, guess what the teacher's gonna do? They're gonna go with the popular kid. Well, Elizabeth, if you're faking, you can get a lot of trouble with the principal or assistant
Oh my
principal or
gosh.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I always had the problems where nobody would believe me. Even the school nurse would be like, you come in here a lot, and sometimes I would get really sick, and she would send me home to my mom. But everyone thought I was just faking to get out of school, which I wasn't. And my dad was starting to like get mad at first, but then he was starting to become worried when he realized
Yeah.
that
Yeah. So how did your parents react? And did eventually get to a doctor, right?
they would just look at me, ask me a few questions, and same thing. Oh, she just has migraine headaches. And
Gosh.
yeah, and it just
Yeah.
got to the point to where I couldn't hold myself up anymore. And I would just fall on the floor and start to crawl sometimes, or I would have to grab onto a chair just to get back up. And then food, I couldn't keep down. I was starting to lose a lot of weight. And my dad was like, no, 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 no. There's something wrong with my daughter. And I need to find out what it was. Even though those 3 doctors said it was a headache, my dad was like, I don't believe this because now my daughter can't walk. I have to carry her, or her mother has to carry her. So eventually my dad did find a doctor that looked at me and said, there's something wrong with your child, and it's not a headache. When he got done, I was crying because it was so hard just to walk that
Yeah.
long that I just wanted to lay back down in my mom's lap.
Wow.
So he told my dad, okay, I don't know what's wrong with your daughter exactly, but it's something internal. So he wrote a note and said, I want you to take her to Memorial Hermann Hospital over here, the Northwest one, and I want you to have them do a MRI.
Yeah. So finally, you get an MRI.
Yeah, finally. When it was all over, their faces just were like they seen a ghost. They all looked so quiet, and I knew something was wrong because it's kind of obvious when all of a sudden everyone's faces are white. They're just frowning. They just look at you all serious, like, okay, honey, we're going to help you out of this machine and put you in the wheelchair. We're going to take you over here and we got to go talk to your parents. So you're like, okay. All of a sudden, here comes the doctor with my parents behind him crying.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew something was wrong because your parents aren't going to have big red eyes unless something is really wrong. And my parents just stood there and were like holding each other crying. And the doctor looked at me and he looked at them and then he kneeled down to me and he was like, listen, your parents want me to tell you, we found a brain tumor in the back of your head and it's about 2 weeks for it to spread. And this far along, it can kill you. So when you're a kid, you know, when you're like, you know, barely 11 years old, you're like, so what does that mean? What's going to happen? And the doctor was like, well, listen, your parents want you to make that decision. We can have the surgery done, but we can't guarantee anything because it's so far along and it's so close to your brainstem. Usually those kind of tumors they can't operate on them.
Yeah.
And they told me it's your choice. You can have the surgery, but we can't guarantee that you'll live through it. You could be paralyzed if something goes wrong, or you can decide not to have the surgery, but we can't guarantee you'll live either because we don't know what's going to happen if you don't have the surgery and it spreads. You could be paralyzed and it can kill you eventually. So you're basically giving me a death sentence. So it's just a very small chance that I'll live. I have to be brave enough to say, okay, I'm going to have the surgery then. So they took me directly to Texas Children's Hospital, and they told me, we can't even do the surgery on you yet because you're too weak. You are malnourished. You are underweight. And
Wow.
we can't because if we do it now, it will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also had to like pump me full of like steroids and other medicines to make me eat because they told because they told me you have to be a certain weight to do surgery anyway. So they spent about almost a week.
Well, let's jump forward to the surgery because this is probably one of the more risky surgeries that a person can undergo is brain surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about the surgery itself and then what it was like to wake up from recovery.
They woke me up really early, and you know, the doctor comes in and introduces himself. He's my surgeon. Dr. William Cheekwood was my surgeon, and my new pediatrician came in and he introduced himself. And you know, some nurses and assistants come in and they say hello, and then they come in with a big giant machine, and they explain this is going to help me sleep, so they can perform the surgery.
Yeah.
They put a mask on me and they explain, please count 1 to 100 backwards. And, you know, that's the countdown. And you start to slowly drift off to sleep. Because I remember making it to the surgery room and people waving at me. All of a sudden, my eyes closed and I fell asleep. I woke up and the doctor was there with my parents. And he was very happy to see me. And he told me, I have good news for you. Your brain tumor surgery was a success. He told me the tumor was right above my brain, what was right above my brainstem, and if it was like about 1 inch closer, it would be impossible to remove it. But it was like perfect to where they could get it all out, and I didn't have to worry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that really is. And now the recovery from something like that is pretty brutal. And this is where a lot of the social and you know, your friends making fun of you and that kind of thing, that's where a lot of this comes in, which is what most people deal with, but not to the level that you have had to deal with.
Yeah, cause the thing is, surviving is great. Recovery was very hard because everything we learned when we were babies, I had to learn it over again. You
Yeah.
know, I already knew how to walk. I knew how to feed myself. I knew how to go to the bathroom and, bathe myself. I had to learn that all over again, and my mother had to assist me on some of the things for a while. And my muscles were so weak because I had to learn to lift my arms again and, don't give you a stress ball to squeeze it. And I couldn't even squeeze the ball. I mean, my
Yeah.
hand would shake and I would drop the ball, and they'd be like, "Well, these are things you have to learn over again." So I spent my whole summer in therapy, and then of course, I had to go back to school. My parents did not want me to go back to school,
Hmm.
but the way things are here in Texas, they're not going to really tolerate, your daughter's surgery was a success. You should be really happy. She's not in a wheelchair. She is able to go back to school.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, no, 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 no. I want her to stay home for a year or something. And, they're like, no, 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 because if you do that, she may not go back to school. So they didn't want to baby me. They did want to push me out the door because even the doctor did say she's got to go back to school. I'm sorry, but the doctor did explain, you know, she is limited in the PE area, so please don't make her do things that she can't do yet, like running and jumping. And I mean, a lot of stuff I couldn't do, but they did want me to learn it again. But don't push me. Just let me
Hmm.
try to run or try to hold a ball
Hmm.
or hold a bat. Let me try, but don't force me. And that was
So,
probably, huh?
so now at this point, something that the listeners might not understand is that you, at this point, since you were little, you were playing video games.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up on the NES game, so of course I love my Mario games.
Yeah. So you had an NES, you were playing your Nintendo, and that's not something that you were able to do anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't because I was actually looking forward to playing my Mario games again, once you got home and you could go to your own bed and stuff. But I couldn't hold the controller. The little NES controller, I couldn't hold it anymore because my hand would shake. I couldn't grasp the controller to put my hands around the controller because
Wow.
my hand would start to shake really badly and I would drop the controller like it was on fire or something.
Hmm.
And my uncle had the Super Nintendo.
Hmm.
Try that. I couldn't do it either. My hands just wouldn't grasp onto the controller. I couldn't hit the buttons.
Yeah. Not to mention the SNES, you've got four face buttons, L and R, start and selector way over there. I can only imagine like recovering from a nervous system surgery and then trying to play video games or something like that can only be just frustrating.
It was because when I saw the Super Nintendo controller, I was like, what the heck is all these buttons? I mean, like where was
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
And so I stopped playing my games, which became a little depressing because when I went to back to school, I was bullied very badly because I couldn't run, jump, I couldn't talk right. I would constantly be stuttering. Um, I was very fat from all the medication. My hair had been shaved off. And people just thought I was ugly and gross, and I would just get bullied every day. And
So school was pretty brutal for you.
it was, and
Yeah.
people didn't want to understand. And some of my junior high teachers thought that I was like some kind of weird kid who purposely shaved her hair or something. I mean, they didn't know about my brain tumor surgery, or
Hmm.
they either didn't know or they didn't bother to read the note that the doctors sent to the school nurse, and it just got ignored.
This is something that not that we can relate in the same way, but that growing up and being bullied and being made fun of and having nobody understand you, that's something even I've dealt with,
Hmm.
had to deal with. And then as an adult, you kind of learn to cope and all that. And um, I mean, now you're very confident. I mean, you have you speak well. You obviously you overcame these things,
Hmm.
but the process of that is something that some of us never get over.
Yeah, exactly. Because the problem, what people don't understand this is Yes, I beat the brain tumor. Yes, I did pretty well with recovery, but it's a lifelong problem because they mess with your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So that controls all the other functions in your body. So I now have like heart problems and I have to go easy on some situations in my life because I can't force myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go like take a step back and take a breather. You know, I can't let myself get overwhelmed. I have anxiety issues and things like that. And, you know, it's not me being lazy or making excuses or trying to have pity. It's like, you don't understand. This
Yeah.
major surgery causes other problems in your life.
Yeah. I mean, I've never had spinal surgery, so I'm not even going to pretend like I know what it's like to be you. So, um, so socially, did you have any friends in school?
I did not. It was bad enough in elementary school because the popular kid says, ew.
Yeah.
But now imagine it worse in junior high school with yourself being chubby, hair shaved, stuttering. Everyone looks at you like, ew, gross. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to come near you. So I was alone, and people would remind me almost every day, oh, she's the girl who had that brain tumor surgery. Ew, maybe she should have died instead. Why are you here? That's how ugly people are in junior high school.
Yeah.
I mean, they're little something else.
Yeah, that junior's high is the worst. I mean, that's where it all begins.
Mhm.
And it's just, it's just really unfortunate. It's really sad. And unfortunately, nowadays, there's a lot more anti-bullying sort of legislation and things that can help kids. And there are ways of coping with it that I think parents can really help with. You had a really unique situation in that you sort of had to cope with it all by yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
because sadly back in that time there really wasn't the internet and there wasn't all these big organizations because like the one on Cartoon Network that says see bullying, speak up.
Mm-hmm.
No one spoke up for me. If
No.
someone pushed me against a wall, everyone would just laugh and egg it on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big difference between then and things I see now.
Yeah. So let's jump forward. Let's talk about the trip to Sam's Club because this is kind of the turning point for you completely. Just turned your whole world around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because of all the bullying, sometimes I didn't want to go to school. Now, there were days my dad would be like, no, I'm sorry, you got to go to school. And my mom would be like, no, let her stay home. But, you know, daddy says go to school.
Yeah.
Well, one day I was very upset in the morning and crying. And my parents were like, what's wrong? And I told them, I don't want to go to school today. Please, I don't want to go. So my mom was like, okay, it's my mom's day off of work and it's my dad's day off of work. So they're like, okay, come with us to Sam's Club because we're gonna go shopping and pick up some stuff and you can find your favorite food, whatever. Now I went with my parents. I always loved to go to the electronics section when I was little because it was cool back in the day to see the Nintendo on the screen and be able. And remember, this was back in the day when you could actually touch the console and play some games. Not like now. This was back in the day. And I was expecting to see the Nintendo. Now, I knew I couldn't hold the controller, but I did want to be able to see someone else play or see what games there were. That's when I saw the Super Nintendo at first, and I was like, well, that's the Super Nintendo? Well, I can't even touch that. I mean, okay. And I looked over to the other TV, and it was something completely new to me. I'd never seen it before, and it was a black console, and it was the Sega Genesis, and there were a bunch of kids surrounded this console and looking up at the TV. And when I looked at what they were playing, it was this really cute little blue creature that was running, and I was like, cool. So I went over there to check it out, and some kid told me, this is Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, ooh. And but and the thing is, the kids will go, well, what's wrong with you? And I tell them, well, I had brain tumor surgery a while ago, and they goes, oh, I'm sorry. And he was real sweet back then, and he explained to me, well, this is Sonic the Hedgehog, this is the Sega Genesis, and I watched the kid play, and then the kid looked at me and goes, do you want to play? I go, no, it's okay, I'll watch. So, I watched them, and the game was very intriguing to watch at first. I was like, wow, Sonic moves so much different than Mario.
Yeah.
And eventually somebody gave me the controller. And I was like very shaky with the controller at first. But I could hold it, but not like really well. But I was able to grasp it. And that helped me at first. So I was like, I can hold this. The button mashing was very difficult because my hand would still shake, but I could hit it.
Yeah.
But then I would forget to look up at the screen, and people would tell me, "Look out for that thing! You're gonna..." And Sonic died.
Well, so the Sega controller is interesting because the D-pad is basically one giant circle, and on Sonic the Hedgehog, you really need one button.
Yeah.
You can hit one button, you got that game down because there's no other configurations, until like Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. But A, B, and C all do the same thing.
Exactly.
Which I'm sure helped you because it's kind of like wherever any one of those buttons, whichever one you can reach, that's the one that you're gonna hit. So it's amazing to me how, kind of just the design of that controller really, really worked for you.
It did, because it was big enough for me to hold. Now, there were things that were complicated for me at first. When I actually played the game, it was very difficult at first because I had to look up at the screen but still remember what I was pressing. That was actually very difficult because I would always look down at the controller. And then when Sonic had the loops, it was very difficult because I had to learn Sonic's got to run at a certain pace to make it through the loop. You can't just walk through it. It's like, that's not going to work.
Yeah, you didn't have the spin dash back then either.
No, you did not. And I was like, what am I doing? But I caught on pretty quickly afterwards, and I became very devoted to playing the game while I was at Sam's. And I didn't know that my parents had been watching, especially my dad. So my dad said, you look so happy playing it. I'm very frustrated, but I did enjoy it. So my dad did buy it for me, and he brought it home. And here's the irony. That same week, I had a doctor's appointment, and I had to speak to my pediatrician, and he had suggested to my dad, maybe you should help your daughter invest in something to, block her mind from the bullies and all that drama she's having in school. Why don't you buy her a video game and she can concentrate on the game? Or
so your pediatrician suggested buying a video game?
Yes.
I bet that was unique for that day and age. I can only imagine that doctors are not prescribing their parents to play video games very often.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the reason why he suggested it was for my hands, because the hand-eye coordination. So my dad
was that kind of part of your therapy then?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the best therapy because my dad said, well, I just bought her something called Sega. And my pediatrician was like, Sega? So what game are you playing? And I told him, Sonic. And he's like, do you like it? I go, I'm not good right now, but I do enjoy it. And the pediatrician did say, keep it up, keep playing it, because for my hands.
I always love that excitement as a kid when you get a new game system and you're like, yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah.
but yeah, the pediatrician suggested it strongly because he was like, now listen, when you hold the controller, I know it's difficult, but it's good for your hand-eye coordination. The game will help you focus, and it will start to build your confidence, because if you can beat this or go through this, then you'll feel better in school. And that's actually true. And what was wonderful also is the Sonic TV shows came out that same year in '93.
Yeah.
and so did the comics by Archie Comics. They all came out around the same time.
So you were all in Sonic Mania.
Yes, I was so happy. So
that's so great.
It's just that for me, I kind of felt like, even though the surgery happened in March of 93, and that was like a very scary time, everything that happened afterwards in 93 was wonderful because I did survive. I was during recovery, but now Sonic came into my life and everything just seemed a lot better because I still didn't have friends in school and I still got bullied. But, you know, it didn't hurt as much because when I came home, I knew Sonic was waiting for me when I turned the TV on. I had my Sonic comics. I could go play one of my Sonic games, and I was very happy.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I remember, I mean, I wasn't very good at sports, you know, and so it's kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm good at, whatever. And I would go home and I'd play Star Fox and I would just destroy everything. And I'd be like, well, you know, there's that confidence boost that you need.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
the world's so negative.
Huh?
The world's so negative, and getting to the end of a level and being like, mission complete, and you're like, okay, cool, you know, like I can do stuff.
Yeah, and that's something I definitely want people to know, especially those who get bullied. Look for something like that, because for me, when I finally beat Sonic 1, I was very happy. Now, at first, I didn't get all the emeralds, because in Sonic 1, that maze is very dizzy. And coming from someone who just had a major brain surgery, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to throw up. But I eventually figured it out, and I did. I thought it was really awesome when I got the emeralds. But, you know, Sonic 3 came out. I mastered that game in one day because I built my confidence from Sonic 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I beat Sonic 3, but without the emeralds, because now you're talking about 3D graphics. And you're like, oh, man, this is worse. But
So what is your favorite today? What's your favorite video game?
in the Sonic series?
Just in general. I mean, I assume it's a Sonic game. If it's not,
Of
just
course.
in general, your favorite game.
Well, overall, I really enjoy Sonic 2 the most. But Sonic 1, because that's the first game I fell in love with, that still holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely Sonic 1.
Great. Super cool. Awesome. Well, Elizabeth, thank you for sharing your story. Do you have anything else you want to say before you sign off?
Well, I want to give a shout out to my friends at Retro Reload.
Cool.
I love those guys. They're awesome.
Awesome. That's a podcast you're on?
Yes.
Sweet. Awesome. So check out Retro Reload. And thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing your story. It's great. I really hope that if there's a listener out there who's struggling with being bullied or somebody with self-esteem issues, is there a way they can get in contact with you? Or
Yes, they can get me on Twitter. My name is Lizzie_Silvas on Twitter. You can contact me on my I actually have a Facebook page where I talk about my brain tumor, but I also cosplay. So you can find me on Facebook that way. Just look up Lizzie Silvas, and you can find me there.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Lizzie. This has been awesome and very informative.
You're welcome.
And for the listeners, we're going to get right back to the show in a second. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back.
Bye.
I'm going to assume that because you're within earshot of my voice, you love playing old video games. If that's the case, you need to check out Super Retro Saturdays at Game Over. It's like when you used to get together with your friends in a basement and get all hopped up on Yoo-Hoo, talk smack while playing each other in whatever new Super Nintendo game came out. Super Retro Saturday happens the third Saturday of every month at your local Game Over store. The next one's on May 21st, beginning at 6 p.m. So come by, enter a free retro game tournament, and the winner gets a cool $50 gift card. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/GameOverVideogames for more info.
Yoo-Hoo is like a chocolate drink. Doesn't it say chocolate drink like on it? That sounds really gross.
I don't think that.
Yeah.
I remember reading that.
Well,
man. I'm like the
Game
only
Over
one.
sells Yoo-Hoo, so don't like. Not
Because-
Yoo-Hoo.
I mean, I am.
I think it was. Do you really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I buy one
People
every
go
time I go
crazy
into a
for
store.
'em.
It's so gross to me.
Why?
It's like chocolate milk water.
No, here's the thing. The first time I tried
I like
Yoo-Hoo,
'em.
First time I tried Yoo-Hoo, I was like 9 or something, and I was like, this tastes like gross, dirty water or whatever. And I never tried it again. And then when I was like 18, somebody was like, dude, try Yoo-Hoo. It's really good. He was like a dealer.
I was about to say, you should have been hanging out with this guy. This guy sounds like bad news.
No. So
From
I
your
tried it again,
interpretation.
but I saw that like you had to shake it, and I was like, oh, you have to shake it. So I shook
it makes it less
and then all the
watery.
flavor gets spread out throughout the yummy Yoo-Hoo flavor gets spread throughout the drink, and then you drink it, and it doesn't taste
This
like
isn't
sewer.
winning me
Something
over.
about things parting in a bottle.
No, the
That just
good,
made it worse for me.
no, the good peanut butter
The
you
chocolate drink
separates.
separates. But no, thank you.
No, I love Yoo-Hoo.
No, yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
it's full of sugar, so you drink it, you get sugar high, you play video games. That's what you do.
Brown
Yeah.
sugar.
People buy like
Brown
six or
sugar.
Where that came from?
No, it sounds like a pop star from like the 80s or something. Okay.
Who drinks nothing but Yoo-Hoo, and his he has a jumpsuit. It's a Yoo-Hoo jumpsuit.
In case you haven't noticed, we're back from it's a very serious interview with Elizabeth Silvas. We're talking about Yoo-Hoo.
Yoo-Hoo's gross. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Personal opinion.
so we're back. I don't know how I'm going to edit that. We'll see. We're going to talk about news. Indie developer Sushi has revealed that it has secured Square Enix blessing to crowdfund a brand new entry in the previously dormant action-adventure series Fear Effect.
Cool.
Originally released in 2000 for the PlayStation. You can get all that info on Kickstarter because
That's awesome.
they're about to launch. Yep.
Fear Effect Sedna.
Sedna?
Sedna, S-E-D-N-A.
What's that mean?
I have no idea. I guess that might be the place or something. Not sure. I played the first two.
Yeah.
Mixed feelings.
They're like, are they like Resident Evil? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Were they? Well, see, and that's the thing with this new one. I'm curious because they're doing isometric kind of view, like Alien Swarm. I don't know, as an example. The old ones, though, they were like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, where they had the fixed camera positions in every room. That's kind of what made it scary. Or like,
Her face always.
what kind of game? Like, was it sci-fi?
yeah, it was more sci-fi. It's like it's kind of cyberpunk type. The first one was really good. It looked really good for a PS1 game. Both of them did.
Yeah.
But 2 kind of got off course, and a lot of dislike happened for Fear Effect 2. A lot of fan stuff. But I'm curious to see what they do with the new one, because they said they were going to tone a lot down and try to, push it forward into the modern.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, I wonder what it's going to be like. I don't know if I'll play it, but my only real memory of Fear Effect is that the ad campaign was very like sexualized.
I just remember
Yes.
her face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Didn't she have funny eyes?
Like funny haha.
No, but I just remember the
clown eyes?
ratio. I don't know. It
Yeah.
always just stuck out for me. I mean, I think I'm thinking the box. I always see the box in my mind.
Yeah.
You always see the box in your mind?
Whenever I think of that game, I see the cover art. Whatever.
It was
cool.
cool. It was
that's
kind of
cool.
like cell shaded.
Yes.
It looked
Yeah.
really
Yes.
good
I think it
for
was cel-shaded.
PS1.
Well, I didn't even know Square Enix had a like system like that where like if you want to like license one of their games for a crowdfunding campaign.
They have a whole indie gaming thing. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
I
Good.
follow Square Enix, and they
Yeah.
you basically, if you're in one of their clubs or whatever, they send you links, and they're like, which one of these would you back if we give them? They don't really. I don't think they give them money. Well, they might give
They
this
just-
money.
They just
They
give
give
them the
them
rights.
permission.
but they give
Yeah.
them permission, and then they're like,
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah.
See?
They want people to take new directions with old IPs.
I like that.
You know who needs to do that? Nin freaking Tendo.
I don't disagree at all.
That's true.
I could go. That should be an entire episode
Metroid.
of a podcast because I
Let
could talk
someone
about that
try
all
Metroid.
day.
I was
Let's
so ready-
each name
I was so ready
20
for that.
franchises that Nintendo should reboot. Ready, go.
Mario. It should be a dark noir,
If I thought about it long
Resident
enough,
Evil style, where the princess is just never there.
Princess is the main character.
The princess is the main character.
Peach 2.
I liked Super Princess Peach, but that's a whole other story. I liked
For a
it.
different
We had a
day.
conversation about that earlier.
Oh.
News about emulator shoved in a Game Boy case. What is this? Okay.
Is that a note you
So
wrote
somebody,
yourself?
yeah. Somebody took the body of a Game Boy, shoved an LCD screen and a Raspberry Pi inside of it, and it's basically an emulator. And they even have a little cartridge where you shove an SD card in it, put it in the Game Boy, and it plays like whatever emulator you
Everything
have
that's
loaded
been
on that
stolen.
cartridge.
It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just cool that it's cool. I think it's really cool.
It is cool.
It looks awesome. You can find
I mean-
pictures of it online. The screen's huge. Like the screen takes up pretty much the whole front face of the Game Boy. It's not just like that little green screen in the middle. I mean, Raspberry Pi is fascinating to me. How you can do like all this stuff with a tiny computer.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was cool, so I threw it in there. Fine, hate me if you want to.
I don't hate you.
Mm-hmm.
I detest you.
Canceled Beavis and Butthead coin op machine restored. So there was a canceled Beavis and Butthead coin op machine,
Yes.
and it
that
was
sounds
restored.
awesome.
Yeah, the game was effectively shelved with few remaining units lost to time, just in storage or wherever. Despite this, Galloping Ghost Arcade in Illinois has somehow acquired one of the 12 test cabinets used to demonstrate the game in action. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
That
Yes.
sounds awesome.
It's great.
Turtles.
If you see the footage,
Yeah, it looks pretty
awesome.
fun. It looks
That
like
makes me
The
so
Simpsons and
excited.
stuff.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That makes me so excited.
I don't have my notes on my notes, but I don't think it was developed by Konami. I think it was just some.
It
company
sounds like
who
a
copied.
missing piece of my childhood.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds a lot. There was a Beavis and Butthead game for Sega Genesis.
It was the Beavis and Butthead game
Yeah.
was very like Bart versus the
Yeah,
Space
just kind of
Mutants,
adventure
where
or
you had to
whatever.
kind of like do things. That didn't make sense.
Oh,
Like point and clicky, but not
Oh,
like fun.
I hope
Yeah.
that they bring it out to cons
I
or
don't know.
something so people can play it. I want to play it
yeah.
because there's no way I'm going to Illinois
No.
ever.
I'm sure it'll
Ever.
get
For
around.
any
That sounds
reason,
awesome.
ever.
I wonder
Yeah.
what Mike Judge thinks.
Who's that?
He's the creator.
I just lost all my cred.
It's okay.
Did you guys see everybody did the 24 karat gold NES?
Yes.
No,
buy
I
one?
didn't see that.
Did you buy one?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought 5.
Oh.
Wait, what is this?
So I don't have the name of the company on here. They made a while ago. They made a chrome. Basically, it's an NES guts shoved into a chrome like case that they
Wow.
made.
It's
Yeah.
their own case design,
Yeah.
though. It's not. It doesn't look like an NES.
Okay.
So they did the same thing, but this one's 24 karat gold to celebrate the
Zelda.
20th anniversary of Zelda.
Cool. This sounds pretty. I'm gonna have to Google this.
30th anniversary of Zelda. Sorry.
Watch an unboxing video.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The Unbox Therapy did a great one.
Yes, that's the one I watched where they pulled out the white gloves and there was.
It comes
the
with white
cart.
gloves
Oh, I love it.
and a copy of
It's great.
Zelda.
I love
It's
it.
beautiful.
It cost $5,000.
They
and
better have a copy of
They
Zelda.
only made 10.
Oh my gosh.
It has a mint copy of Zelda. I don't know where they got 10 brand new mint copies of Zelda
Yeah.
besides like perusing eBay for weeks and weeks looking
I was
for
gonna say I
things.
see them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, you work at a game store.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, it was minty though.
Yeah, it was like it looked brand new.
It did.
Cool.
Maybe they redid
don't
the
know how I missed
cartridge.
this.
Maybe it's a new cartridge.
It could be a repro.
Yeah. So that's awesome. None of us are ever going to buy that because they're probably all sold now.
Well, you said there's 10.
There's 10
So I believe.
Go try to add one
Oh,
to
I
your
should have
cart.
looked on eBay to see if anybody's like selling theirs. Like, I bought this
Oh.
for 5,000. I'll sell it for 20,000.
20,000, yeah.
This is my voice.
So limited.
Yeah, super limited.
This is my voice.
This is what I sound like. You guys know? Have you seen that? So there's this website from like the 90s where this kid made a website and his voice is playing on the website because you used to be able to like put music behind your website. And
do
he would
remember
go,
that.
"Hello, my future girlfriend. This is what I sound like. I am 11 years old." And then he goes, "Please PM me if I'm on Yahoo Chat. Bye. Thanks for stopping. Bye. Hello, my future girlfriend."
Oh my God, it just goes in a loop.
Yeah, over and over again. It's the funniest thing ever. Go look it up.
Yahoo Chat.
His picture. Yeah, exactly.
What's that?
Nowadays,
Let's just put this into perspective on how old this is.
man.
I had
It was the very early days of the internet. Like I'm
had to
talking, it was probably in 1998
Probably when you're
or
getting
9,
AOL discs.
something like that.
Oh my God.
So now that we've gone completely off
Anytime
topic,
I hear AOL, that's the noise I hear.
new visual cues discovered in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the NES. Apparently,
Really?
there's an audience member in the game who ducks down during your fight. Yeah, it's your second fight with Piston Honda is the only place they found it so far. Yeah, when you see him duck, that's when you punch for one hit KO.
What?
I think he nods. I think he says,
He's
take
like,
the
"Go."
punch.
Go for it, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like games like that, we're still finding new
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
cool things in them. It's
timeless.
crazy. Rare Dev talks N64 issues and that almost delayed the N64 further. So this is interesting. So the N64, the design was finalized by 95, but Nintendo 64 launch was delayed till 96. Just in case, just for some context, it was delayed because of hardware issues. So this is coming from a rare dev, Martin Hollis. He says, and I quote, "I wrote a piece of code which displayed spinning," oh my God. Sometimes I say these words, icosahedrons. What is that?
It's
That's like a 20-sided...
Have you guys played like Mario Galaxy? You know the little bits that you collect? They kind of look like that.
Okay.
Like it has a bunch of faces.
So I wrote a piece of code which displayed spinning icosahedrons, as many as possible until the frame rate dropped below 60 hertz. The head of the project at SGI was not too pleased to discover that the performance of the machine was in terms of triangles per second. He asked to see the code in the hope that it was insufficient. It wasn't. Later, he told me that SGI was very nearly did another spin of the hardware to fix the issue, which was then, insufficient memory. He says, I don't know the exact figures, but a second spin of the hardware, equivalent to the second edition of a book, is sometimes said to cost $1 million. And, there was additional cost of delay in reaching the market. And so it was not delayed until 97. They released it with subpar hardware, which I wonder if they updated it later. I don't know. Actually, that probably helped them develop the RAM expansion.
I was going to say the RAM expansion pack probably came into play.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of, I don't know, a lot of that was just jargon to me, but essentially it was supposed to do something.
It wasn't what they wanted
it couldn't do
for
that.
their games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. Crazy. I mean, former Rare devs are coming out like left and right now because a lot of them work for Platonic, who's doing
ukulele.
Yeah, I mean, a ton of info came out about Project Dream and stuff like that. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Ukulele looks amazing.
Banjo Tooie is my jam. One of them, and I'm looking forward to Yuka.
Did you guys play? Did you guys play the pseudo 3D Zelda game that came out online? This developer it was like basically took the pixels in Zelda and then made them 3D. And you can play it online. Yeah. Nintendo removed it, but it was really cool. I mean,
no, I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think I caught it in time.
Yeah, it was up for probably a couple days.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, and the developer has no ill will towards Nintendo. They were like, yeah, I mean, obviously we stole their game. But, I hope that they see that there's fans and
then they hire them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they let them make it.
Yeah. Hey, so Pokemon Snap is on the Wii U Virtual Console in Japan.
Oh, snap. I hope they bring it over here.
They will.
I really
That's my dream.
I know the lead developer on Snap.
Hey, you know who's not here?
Really wants a new one.
That'd be cool.
You know who's not here to
talk about robots?
Talk about robots?
Matt.
See,
I'm sitting in his spot.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's weird.
It's still warm.
Ooh.
It kind of greases me.
Yeah.
We miss you.
We miss you, Matt. Get well soon. He had a tooth thing.
Yeah.
Like literally that would happen.
That's like the worst.
I hate dentists. I was texting him. I was like, dentists are literally the devil. Like, I hate them.
Actually, I think they're wonderful people. It's good to have
It's what they do, though, that I don't like.
I don't think it's out of like malicious intent.
No, why would you become a dentist if you don't have malicious intent?
Teeth.
I just really want to drill in people's mouth.
They're all masochists. Let's go over some new releases for May. So we have Lost Reavers.
Gotta be May. Sorry.
Lost Reavers on the Wii U coming out on Thursday, April 28th, which is out if you're listening to this podcast. It's like a dungeon crawler, multiplayer dungeon crawler on the Wii U.
Okay.
Oh, some prominent developer that I'm totally blanking on right now. Looks interesting. There's a beta out right now. Actually, the beta will have finished by the time you listen to this podcast, and you can go download the game. So go do that.
Hey.
Uncharted 4: A Thief's End for the PS4 comes out May 10th.
Lots of people are excited for that one. I'm sure.
Are you personally excited?
I am not, and that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Michael, you gonna pick that one up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, tell me how it is.
I have to beat 3
sure it's
first, though.
The new
My
Doom
queue is really bad.
Oh,
yeah.
the new Doom.
The new Doom is coming out on Friday, May 13th. The multiplayer beta is happening right now, and a lot of my friends are in it, and they say it's pretty fun. They're
Rad.
like,
Quote,
It could be worse. It could be pretty
fun.
I'm sure they're gonna. I mean, the reason they have a beta is so they can figure out what's wrong with it. So I'm sure it'll be great.
Right.
Yeah.
The multiplayer looks amazing, so I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
Valkyria Chronicles Remastered comes out on Tuesday, May 17th on the PS4. Mirror's Edge Catalyst comes out on Tuesday, May 24th.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, you Mirror's Edge fan?
Yeah. I've got a...
Oh, she's got ink.
I've got a giant tattoo based off of Faith.
Facing Dan.
Well, it's not based off of. It was inspired by.
That's cool.
But I'm very excited. That was a... I don't usually pre-order games.
I don't know anything about it. Is it remake or is it a sequel?
It is... I think it's a pre-sequel, but they're redoing everything. Kind of like a reboot. It's weird.
Now, what's the difference between a pre-sequel and a prequel?
I guess it's kind of...
Her mind is blown.
Divide by 0. I don't know.
No, that's a good question.
Probably the same thing.
I think it's the
a,
same.
So it's a prequel.
right?
Yeah.
It's the same.
It's the same, right?
The pre-sequel.
I could be
If
wrong.
you know,
don't hold me to this.
People just started saying
Tell
that
us.
because of Borderlands. They were like, pre-sequel's the thing now.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a prequel.
Previous sequel, though.
Yeah, it's a prequel. It
That's
happens
weird.
before.
Anyways, I think they're just rebooting it.
Maybe they just don't want the Star Wars connotation. They're like, we don't want to be like Star Wars.
There's no Jar Jar Binks.
prequel. No.
break the mold.
But I remember the original Mirror's Edge coming out, and it was pretty fun.
yeah, it was hit or miss.
Very unique.
Either you loved it or you hated it.
I liked it. It was
Yeah.
unique. hmm
Yeah.
Overwatch, May 24th on PS4, Xbox One, Windows, and not Mac. Wait, no, it should be coming out for Mac because it's a Blizzard. Is it not coming out for Mac?
I don't know
sure
on
it is.
Mac.
I'm
Oh.
sure it is. Because Blizzard releases everything on both.
That would be a bad move if they didn't.
Michael's just shrugging at me now. Like, something wrong with
I
your
don't
shoulder
know
there,
nothing
bud?
about
Overwatch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a Mac fanboy.
Everything I do is on Mac. Except,
Looking at your two laptops in front of you.
I know, yeah.
That's a whole nother story.
Teenage,
There's a lot of deep stories in this girl.
the new platinum game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan, is coming out on May 24th, which looks super fun. They just did the Transformers game, that retro one, Platinum Games, who also did Star Fox.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're cool. And also their president just stepped down, so who knows what that means.
Oh, boy.
And finally, Total War Warhammer, coming out for Windows PC Tuesday, May 24th.
Appropriate voice.
Thank you.
Sunday.
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I can't
At
think
Game
of
Over
this.
Video Games, May is PlayStation Month. All month long, get $30 cash for trading in any working PS2 console. Plus, we have special PlayStation sales throughout the month and additional trade bonuses on certain PlayStation game titles. So go to GameOverVideoGames.com to get that info. Wait, I have some disclaimers. Sign up for our weekly emails for details. That's not one, but you should do that. If you trade in the system, it must include one first-party controller and all the
The
hookups.
stuff.
Make
Yeah.
sure you get those hookups.
Yeah.
And we'll give you the hookup.
Hookups are important.
That's what happens. So that's that. PlayStation Month at Game Over Video Games. Last month was Sega Month. We didn't say anything about it, so sorry about that if you missed
Sorry
that.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Sega month. We love you.
We do love you.
But this is the best month. So
I was about to say, I'm really into PlayStation.
When are we doing Nintendo?
I'm okay with this. So it's weird.
When are we doing Nintendo Month?
I think Nintendo,
All the time.
we talk about Nintendo a lot on
That's
here.
all I play, though. That's all I do. No, that's not true. I play Hearthstone.
Do
talk
you
about
say it like that
Blizzard?
every time?
Like what?
Hearthstone.
How did I say it weird? Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone. How do you say it?
I don't know. The first time you said it, you were like, Hearthstone. I say Hearthstone.
Okay, well, let's take a break, and then we're going to get into our main discussion topic, which is about cooperative video games. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably already know that Game Over buys and sells everything from Atari to Xbox.
Atari?
But did you know that they can resurface your games, get most of your scratched discs working again?
What? Wow.
We also have a huge selection of retro game instruction manuals, strategy guides, and the cables you need to hook every console up to your TV,
Hookups?
no matter how ancient the output. So check out your local Game Over and we'll help you find what you're looking for.
Really?
Don't have a location near you? Our online store also has a massive selection of retro games, consoles, accessories, and more. Check out GameOverVideoGames.com for more info.
I love games. I always want to respond while you're doing the commercial. Be like, what? Wow. but I like stop myself. It's like really hard because like
Do you have to shut your mic off now?
I'm able to control it. It's just I really want to react to you, like 'cause, like you have so much energy.
Usually Matt does the ads later, and I don't have to do them live. But since
I know.
we're here, you should have done that. So
I just want to be like, oh, really?
It's not going to happen every time.
Atari?
Just do some canned ones, and I'll throw them into the ad. Yeah, do it.
I love games. That's all.
Okay.
Atari hookups.
Okay, those are going into the ad now. That's happening.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
I don't know what the Atari.
our main discussion topic this week is co-op games. Some of our favorites. Hopefully, we'll talk about some of your favorites. You also had the opportunity to email us or comment on us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram to let us know what your favorite co-op games were. And if you didn't say anything, well, that's just tough. The first co-op game was an arcade game. Atari Inc.'s 1978 coin-op game Fire Truck is widely believed to be the first arcade coin-op game
co-op
to feature co-op. The word coin-op and co-op is in this sentence, so it's really hard to say.
Because it was an arcade.
It was the first video game to feature a co-op. Yeah. Have you played it?
Nobody said anything about it.
I haven't. I've seen footage of it.
I was going to say, what is it?
It looks like an Atari game.
It looks incredibly hard.
Yeah. I don't want
Like
to play it.
the
What do you
setup
do?
is there's a person in front on a wheel, and then someone is standing behind them also on a wheel, and you can do it one player, but it's meant for two, and you try to control a fire truck, and one person is steering it, and the other person is like controlling the tiller,
I
or the
guess.
swing of the wagon, and you can't like hit the sides.
Wow.
So
Sounds like a
it's
Mario Party game.
like River Raid, sort of.
Yeah.
I was like hoping that you'd be like controlling like a water cannon.
That'd be awesome.
Like the second person
That's
would
what
be
I
putting
thought
out
of,
fires.
but that's not it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
They were
it
just
at
like,
all.
what's big? And would maybe real fire trucks don't even require two people.
To steer?
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never been in one. How do you know?
Hopefully not.
because I know because I've been in one.
Okay. There's just one steering wheel?
There's just one.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. There's only one steering wheel in fire
Right?
trucks,
No,
ladies
it's
and
just a
gentlemen.
big truck.
Mystery solved.
Why don't we go around a circle? We'll do 1-1-1, and we'll just kind of keep talking about games until our ears fall off.
All right.
Have either of you played the game Jackal on the NES?
I have not, but I know.
I think it's Konami. I
Yes.
want to
I was
say.
gonna say that too.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's two, and it's you can do one player, but two player. There's two jeeps, and each jeep has like a machine gun that shoots forward, a machine gun that always shoots up. So it's a top-down view,
Okay.
and you have a machine gun that
Yes.
always shoots up, and then you have grenades that you have to earn, and those shoot whatever direction the jeep is facing. So kind of like a Pocky and Rocky sort of, but with different mechanics. Super fun. My brother and I used to play this game all the time. And the game difficulty does not change based on whether you have one or two people. So if I couldn't beat a level, I'd be like, hey, Adam, come here. I'll help you beat this level.
Oh, you
That's-
as a kid sounds really
That's
cute.
what I sounded like. I had a deeper voice, too, when I was... I can't believe the level. Come here. And there's little jeeps, and the graphics are pretty good. I mean, you could tell what everything was. There were like rescue missions where you had to pull up to a camp, and they would like load into your jeep. And then every once in a while, you'd get like a missile tech, and he would get in your jeep, and then you could fire missiles,
Cool.
which go further than the grenades. That was as far as the upgrade system goes, I believe. But the levels were like mazes, and you had to like find the right way out, and it was really elaborate, and probably one of my favorite games of all time, not just one of my favorite co-op games. So
That's cool.
yeah.
That reminds me of an NES game I had that I cannot remember the name of right now. But it was
Oh, I love this game.
But no. But there's a jeep or a helicopter, and you play co-op, and one person's the jeep and one person's the helicopter.
Yeah.
And when you play one player, you're just, I think, the helicopter. What game is that? Healy. I think it's the Healy one. Now I don't know, but I thought maybe you'd know if I said it. But that one's fun.
Nope, I don't.
Where one person's like driving around on the ground as a jeep, and the other
Is
person
it like a shmup, like a side scroller?
it's side scroller. It's 2-player. I had it, and you just totally made me remember it when you're talking about that. I
Don't
loved
remember.
that game, and I can't remember what it.
Sorry. How about you, Sayla?
I'm gonna change gears here.
We're not going to talk about Jeeps anymore?
No more Jeeps.
Okay, all
I'm
the
so
Jeep
sorry.
enthusiasts are now turning off.
Everybody,
Sorry.
thanks for
Sign
tuning
out.
in.
Yeah. There's one game I wanted to really talk about with co-op. I play a lot of co-op games. It's like one of my favorite, especially platformers that are co-op. This is a game that a lot of people haven't heard of. It's called The Adventures of Cookie and Cream. And
Oh, N64, PlayStation.
PlayStation 2.
I've heard
yes.
of this. Yeah.
And it's by From Software. It's not even
It's
on their
From
wiki.
Software?
Yeah, the guys who made Dark Souls.
So it's From Software.
It's From Software.
Is it as hard as Dark Souls?
It is just as infuriating. They have.
I'm like seeing like these cutesy like characters.
Yes.
Like
Well, it's a rabbit and a...
It's two rabbits.
Two rabbits.
I do
Yeah.
remember this. Yeah.
Yes, that's you guys are the first. But yeah,
Because we
it's a
both
good
work
way.
at Game Over. That's like
Right.
the only
I look
reason
at
why.
games all day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how do you pull, like,
Yeah.
what's...
Tell us about it.
It's so it was obviously meant for 2-player. You can play it single, but good luck. I'm sure there's some YouTuber out there that's like, oh, I can do this blindfolded. Like
Holding
but
2 controllers.
as a normal player, I would suggest 2 people. So one for people who haven't seen it, the art direction is kind of like Ribbit King. If
I love
played
Ribbit
it.
King.
It's kind of the
Love
same
Ribbit
art.
King,
It's the same
yeah.
art style. It's kind of
For
crazy.
those of you who haven't heard of Ribbit King, the other extremely obscure game that nobody's ever heard of, that's sort of like, I guess, Wind Waker with animals.
yeah,
Yeah.
play some Froth.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
Potion for All, the most random game ever.
I
Love it.
love
I
Frog.
know it's fun.
Not,
And,
not a co-op game. Let's move on, guys. No more Ribbit King. Okay.
PvP. Yeah, no, but one player plays as Cookie, another player plays as Cream, and it's kind of, I call it 2.5D. It's like it's the back to the isometric, and it's top down, and you're going forward, and it's split left and right. So, and there's always something kind of in between Cookie and Cream, like Body of Water or something. They have their own thing going on, but the whole thing is timed. And so, like, it starts off, with a certain amount of seconds, and if someone, like, falls into the water, it tracks seconds,
Right.
so it takes, like, 20 off. It is absolutely infuriating, and it's just, like, you're like, I'm the good one. Like, I'm the one that's not falling in the water. It's totally your fault.
This game sounds like it makes friendships.
Oh, it totally does not sever friendships and ruin your entire life.
Do not play this with your spouse.
Yes, no, but it was so fun. Like, it was kind of a random find for me. I know I played like with a super quiet friend that was really shy and reserved, and we were just playing along, and there was this one part that I remember. You like jump in a raft and you have to, row.
Oh, together?
But if you can't communicate to tell, like, hey, we need to turn left, do this. She ended up just shooting me the worst death glare. And she got real nasty.
It's always the quiet ones.
Yeah, she's like, you better get it right. It's just like, whoa, Sam, chill.
Yeah.
She's gonna send you a mean email now. She's like, I heard what you said about me.
Everybody has that one friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's a really good game.
That sounds cool.
An Instagram follower by the name of mark.lavally. I don't know why I have such a problem with names. Anyway, he
Sound it out.
brought up probably one of the most quintessential co-op games that anybody's ever heard of, which is Toe Jam and Earl. I mean, probably one of the best adventure co-op games ever made. You played it?
Yeah.
You've played it?
I have not, but of course I know it.
What was that? Was that a...
I mean, it's good. I
Okay.
don't know.
It's okay.
I mean, that was another game that my brother and I grew up playing, and I was always Earl because he wanted to be Toe Jam because Toe Jam's the fast one. So I was always the fat yellow guy. But basically, if you don't know what Toe Jam and Earl is, I'm very sorry, and I'll explain it to you. Basically, you're these two aliens, and you're trapped on planet Earth. You have to find all the pieces of your spaceship. And so the object of each level basically is to find the elevator to get to the next level, and while you're going through the levels, find your spaceship. There's a lot of interesting things that happen there, though. So on the first level, you find the elevator's right there. So you land on this island, and you get your weapons or whatever, and then you get on the elevator. You go to the next level. You go up, and then you're on level 2. And level 2 has holes, and if you fall through the hole, you go back to level 1, and you literally fall. So there's kind of this literally tiering level of levels. I think there's 20 total that you can go through, and it's. The cool thing about it is every time you play, it's procedurally generated except for the first level. First level is the same. As soon as you get to level 2, everything's totally different from the last time you played.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the parts are in different places, and the enemies are in
I
different
guess
places.
I never gave it enough time.
No, it's super fun. And the co-op is great because it's split screen. So if I'm on level 1, Toe Jam can get on the elevator, go to level 2, and do whatever's happening there. And, he can be looking for...
I could be like, hurry up.
Yeah, exactly.
Crap
Go in the
head.
elevator, jerk. Yeah, so all that stuff would happen. And if one of you dies, then the other one just takes over and whatever, and then you can't get them back. So
Okay.
I mean, super unique for the day. Like, I'm sure there's some PC games that did that, but for consoles, like, there was nothing like that. My brother and I played it nonstop because every time you played it, it was brand new. Yeah, probably one of the more
Replayability.
unique and fun co-op experiences that you can have. And there's weapons, and it's kind of that isometric view, top down, but not 3D, just 2D, whatever.
Just 2D.
And that developer is working on. They had a successful Kickstarter to like reboot it.
Yeah,
and
I
they're
was gonna
working on
say.
it. Yeah,
I felt like there was like a Toe Jam
Something
reboot.
they hit
coming.
a ton of their benchmarks too. I don't know if they hit their Nintendo benchmark though. They got pretty far. Like they hit it.
I
and
love
then
that
there was
there's
bunch
always a
of ones.
Nintendo benchmark, but that's like
It's
the
always
last
way
one.
down. I know.
It's
Yeah.
like we'll do it, but
Yeah, like ukulele hit it after like $10 trillion.
right.
Yeah,
Gosh.
whatever. Yeah, Michael, anything else?
I was thinking of like growing up. I had Rampage on the NES, and I remember finally like one night I had a sleepover with a friend, and we were like, we're gonna beat this, and we stayed up all night. And like, there's ways you can like, I don't know. Rampage is like, you're basically Godzilla and King Kong, but not really. You're Lizzie and Lizzie's the lizard, and then
Sue.
Sue's the no. You're making stuff up. I'm like,
I was like, whoa.
no, I forgot what the monkey's name is, or King Kong's name is. I can't think of it, and you're basically like destroying cities, and you go around the entire United States, because I'm playing the first one, and you like destroy the entire United States. And so I really wanted to beat it. And so me and my friend stayed up, and I remember it was like 1,000,000 hours. And there's like ways with that game where you can die, but then still come back. Like, so you can like take turns playing on separate characters, because you shrink, but then you come back. And I don't know. I don't want to spoiler though, but the ending was not what I hoped.
You don't want to spoil.
I don't want to have a spoiler in case anybody else wants to put the 1,000,000 hours
Rampage.
into the ending. Well, because you think that there'd be like some really cool,
Some reward.
some great, like maybe like just screen with like maybe like a blinking, somebody with their arm moving, NES games where they always had like that one screen. It'd be like, yeah, you won, but it was not.
Oh no.
It was just like,
I'm sorry for your loss.
I don't want to say it. Should I say what it is?
Did you play the GameCube version?
Yes. I liked all the other ones.
That was a great one.
No, it was. No,
And that had a good ending.
I always loved the idea of them, and it was just such a downer. It was like 4 a.m. We finally got to the end, and then we were like, "Oh my god!"
We stayed up all night for no reason.
We were so mad, but I still love the
100%.
game. I still have it. But
Great.
I just know not to put
that much effort.
just don't put that much effort into it, because it was like we were like, there's gonna be some weird like twist story ending, because there's so much story.
You're a guy in a costume.
or something. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
You're a
but
Titan.
It was a bummer.
Attack on Titan. Anyway,
Cool.
Yeah, so that ruined my childhood.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Scarring.
welcome.
That scarring event that we just had to listen to.
Yeah.
I'm scarred.
Well, I guess another one for me, definitely Rayman Legends on the Wii U, or I guess PS4.
Yeah, pretty much
It
all
went
Everything.
across.
All the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that game had co-op.
I didn't either.
Oh, yeah. You should play it, no doubt.
Who do you play as if not Rayman?
There's
like-
Glowbox, and there's the chick. I don't know her name at all. And then there's oh my gosh,
The 4-player co-op?
Twinkies.
Oh yeah, there's 4 of them, I think.
4-player co-op?
There's 4.
Yeah, yeah, and I did know this.
It's great. It's beautiful. I mean, the art is amazing.
Right.
And I really like that they went back to the original Rayman format. Like, I like 2 and the third one, whatever, Hoodlum Havoc, but it's really...
Raving Rabbits, all that stuff's great.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, whatever floats your boat. I mean, I didn't play those. I think Hoodlum Havoc
I
was
think
probably
he's
the last
lying.
one. Yeah, but...
Through my teeth.
As far as like co-op, like, I wouldn't play that game any other way. It's great.
That's cool.
Did Origins have co-op? I don't think it did.
Yes,
It
it was
did.
the same. And don't
What's
get
wrong with me? I had Origins.
I've been asking myself this a lot. Like, what's wrong with Dan?
I haven't played enough Rayman, apparently.
And the cool thing about Legends is it actually includes Origins in it. So you get both games.
That's cool.
I'm going to go on right now while you guys are talking on my phone and buy that game. Because that sounds amazing.
It's great.
And I'll need something to play once I beat Star Fox, because nothing's coming out for Wii U until, like, Zelda.
Oh, I know. It's
Yeah,
desolate.
sad day. Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's true. That was like the last announcement.
Just until
for a while.
Zelda or whatever. I mean, there's nothing, unless you want to play the new Paper Mario, which I don't. So, I don't know.
No
I
love.
like Paper Mario.
No love for the Paper Mario.
Wait, no.
know, I love Paper Mario.
What's that Kirby? The Kirby robot game.
That's for
the
3DS.
That's 3DS?
Oh, that's handheld only.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure that's 3DS.
I think it might be.
Is it 3DS? I thought that was for Wii U. What's that called? Kirby's Robot.
Robobot 3DS exclusive.
I bet Matt would know.
Okay.
Sorry, jerk. 3DS exclusive.
Oh, it is 3DS.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dang. Well,
Go play Triple Trouble on the whatever. Oh, that's 3DS too. What was the one?
that was the
Wii?
the clay
Epic
one.
Yarn?
No, that was
Wii.
No, there was like one of the last Wii games was a Kirby game.
It was the one Rainbow Curse.
Rainbow Curse.
No.
Yeah, were you?
No.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you're
find it now.
clay.
Triple Deluxe. Is that what you're?
Triple Deluxe.
Is that it? I don't think.
No. Return to Dreamland.
Return to Dreamland
This
with
one.
the sword.
This one.
Yeah.
That's
Sword.
Wii.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Go play that.
Oh.
No, there was another one. There was one where you drew lines
and do co-op
on the
do Epic Yarn.
pad.
Yeah.
That was
The rainbow. The one
Rainbow
where you draw
Curse,
the pad.
Rainbow
That's Rainbow
Curse.
Curse.
the one I said, Rainbow Curse.
I know, but that's not a real Kirby game. It's like a puzzle game. Whatever. Puzzle platformer. I don't consider it a Kirby game. I like it, but
Well then, tell us how you really feel.
also not co-op. So moving on.
Moving on.
Swiftly.
Sorry, my bad.
Super Nintendo game, Turtles in Time. Probably one of my favorite games of all time. Just-
Yeah,
I remember.
No
any
doubt.
turtle game.
I remember it was. I don't think that it was the same as the arcade game. Was it? Was there like a arcade equivalent to that had 4-player?
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
there was a Turtles game, but I don't know if it was Turtles in Time. I don't remember.
I think
Yeah,
it was.
that was like- there
That's
was-
the ones I played.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
another one of the.
I was really disappointed when I went back to play it, and for some reason didn't remember that it wasn't 4-player with a multi-tap, not 4-player,
Ooh,
2-player only.
really?
Yeah, probably because it was the sprites were huge and the Super Nintendo was like
Chugging.
blowing smoke trying to run this game. But like seriously,
Fire
probably one of the best
extinguisher.
beat 'em ups of all time, and that cartridge goes for a pretty penny nowadays.
Sure
yeah,
is.
because the remake was not very good. They did-
I got
yeah.
it for like free.
the remake.
Yeah.
yeah, and it was kind of I don't know what they did wrong. It was just not the same.
Right.
You know, like sometimes they remake a game and you're like, oh, this is great, this is better. They just didn't.
It feels like loose, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like it's not as
You know
tight.
what I mean?
Sure. Like the hitboxes were all off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like loose. Like that's the best way I could describe it. Like
Well,
you
the
feel like
the hitboxes were off.
yeah.
But Turtles in Time, I just remember that was like the game to play with your friends. Like what do you want to play? I don't know. You want to take turns playing Mario? Turtles in Time. And your head will explode because you're so excited.
Just immediately.
Yeah, but just I mean, Turtles Mania was like my whole childhood.
My
so-
childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had sheets. I had
tons
I
of
have a
those
tattoo
freaking
that my
action
mom got
figures.
me for my 6th birthday
Are you joking? Or are you serious?
on my butt.
Well, now I want
I'm
to
just
see
lying.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I would have.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's an incredible game.
Yes.
It's Konami in its heyday.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the really great co-ops were beat 'em ups like Battletoads, Double Dragon, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
At that time, definitely.
that's on my list.
Simpsons.
Yeah, but that's arcade. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Too.
I can't like go buy a cartridge of the. They put it on some digital thing,
they
a console
format?
or something. Didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah,
Maybe they didn't.
they did. Simpsons is on a console. I know. I've seen. Why was this in my mind? I've seen like an Atari version almost that somebody did,
That sounds
or
horrible.
NES, and it
sounds
looks terrible.
awful.
I promise.
The arcade cabinet goes for $2,400.
According to that site.
Okay, arcade cabinet.
Oh yeah,
You can get
Xbox
2 arcade
Live,
cabinets.
Xbox Live, and PSN. Last generation,
That's it.
2012. Yep.
I guess maybe it was something somebody made that I saw.
Sorry. High demand though. I mean, this game. I remember playing it at the movie theater. The Simpsons
yeah.
arcade game.
Oh, every movie
Everyone-
theater.
Is that your
everybody
game,
should
Michael?
play that
Simpsons
game.
arcade.
I love Simpsons arcade.
So that's your game for this round of go around.
Yes.
Okay.
Although
I always
it's an
played
arcade.
Bart.
Bart and Marge. I don't know why I always played Marge with her like.
The like combining thing where I could like jump on your head
Yes!
and like get
The
like a special
superpower.
power, and
Yes.
everybody had a different one depending on who was in your
Yes.
party.
Yeah.
That was genius.
Yes.
That's so
I
great.
forgot about that.
Great
Yeah, dude.
design.
The bosses in that game were no joke. Like I remember Mr. Burns was just impossible.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you'd like sink all those quarters.
And you had the mini game with the balloon. You blow up the balloon with like tapping the buttons.
Wow, you're way too good at that still.
That's from
I can't.
what game? I think it's Mario Party where you had to tap really fast, and then I got really good at using both thumbs, where I would just like
That's like a drummer move.
I'm also a drummer, so that helps.
There you go.
Yeah. Padiddle.
Don't know what that means, but it was weird.
But it was weird. For Michael.
Sayla, what's your game?
I guess you might have not played this one, but have you played Resogun yet, Michael? That's a good one.
Newish game?
It's newish. It is. It's PS4. You have PS4, right?
I love my PS4.
Yes, as do I. I'm kind of obsessed with like soundtracks and stuff in games. That one has a bumpin' soundtrack.
Cool.
It's very, very pretty. I think they had it for free on one of the monthly PS Plus things, but
Then
definitely
it's in
check
my
it out.
queue.
It's kind of cool how they have it set up. It's like there's a ring and you're a ship and it's like a shoot 'em up and you're just following the ring and shooting. It's just a bunch of shooting and stuff.
Yes.
I
I think there's a theme with me with Ratchet and Clank and the Resogun.
Lots of shooting.
Lots of shooting.
She likes to shoot stuff.
Like-
I'm learning so much.
You own a gun?
I did shoot.
You
There
don't
used to
own-
be competition, trap,
Well, there it is.
and stuff.
Wow.
Yes. So
That's that.
boom, boom.
That's cool. I haven't even heard of that one. But for some reason, it reminded me of this game that's coming out called Hive Jump, indie game. Hive Jump, 4-player co-op, Metroidvania style, I guess, but 4-player co-op shoot 'em up. It's like it's like a mix between like an adventure Metroidvania and 4-player co-op run and gun side scroller.
Okay.
Yeah, power ups and stuff like that. It looks really great. I mean, indie game. It's one of the like Nindies or something, whatever. Nintendo.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No.
this is a game that I'm going to talk about that I wish that they would bring this mode back to this game. Is Mario Kart Double Dash had a co-op mode
Yes.
where you'd have a driver and you'd have the items person.
Yeah.
That was like the best. And I remember we'd have 4 people in my basement and we'd be playing whatever, Smash or Mario Kart or whatever. And then we didn't even know you could do that. And then like somebody just discovered it. And we were like, oh my gosh, you got to be my gunner, like, shotgun, whatever,
Yeah.
And I'd always have Diddy Kong and Koopa because I wanted the big bananas and that was the only way to get the 3 shells was to use Koopa because everybody had like special weapons. Gosh, Double Dash is such a good game, you guys.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Have you played the arcade? They have them in arcades
Yeah,
now.
they have it at
walk
Dave
up
and
the
Buster's.
wheel whenever
Yeah.
it's so
Speaking
cool.
of which, the Dave and Buster's right down the street has the Luigi's Mansion arcade cabinet.
No
Really?
way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's like that Jurassic Park where it's like you sit in it and it's like it
That
surrounds you.
sounds so cool.
And the screen is up, and there's a video of it on my YouTube channel of me playing it. And you have this little vacuum cleaner gun, and like you're sucking up ghosts, and you're collecting coins and stuff. It's amazing.
That sounds really
great.
good.
We
I've
should
never
all after this. Let's all
been
go
to Dave
play.
and Buster's.
All right.
I've never been to Dave and Buster's.
It's an arcade.
I don't know. I've never been.
Do you like games? Do you like video? Wait, Michael. Do you even like video games?
No. The truth. Can I go home?
Why am I here?
I've been faking for the last 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
You've only played video games for 4 years?
I meant Game Over.
Okay, whatever.
Whatever.
Michael, what's your game? Or you want to skip
Skip.
since you're unprepared?
You guys just keep inspiring me. You
Okay.
didn't even tell me what this podcast was about until I sat down.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Sorry.
Hashtag-
yeah, you can blame Matt.
Blame Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, let's blame Matt. Matt, it's your fault Dan
Sorry.
didn't tell me about what the podcast was about. I'm irregular. What can I say?
Irregular.
What do you got?
What do I got? Next up, I know we talked a lot about Ratchet and Clank. You guys did last time too.
We're not done talking about it. apparently.
Deadlocked and All for One are the next on my list. They were actually really fun. I know Deadlocked was co-op.
I played Deadlock. That was good.
Yeah, I liked it. It was different from the other ones for sure, but I really liked it just because like it's much more fast paced and stuff like that. And All for One obviously is co-op, so it kind of felt All for One felt different from the other Ratchet and Clank games. It's kind of when they started to switch over, to a more
Like mature.
friendly, yeah. So
Friendly.
yeah, they started going pretty kid friendly
At Deadlocked?
at All for One.
Oh,
Deadlock did
okay.
feel a lot more mature.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because that's the same developer as Uncharted. Insomniac?
Insomniac.
Yeah, isn't that Uncharted?
That's
Or no,
Naughty Dog.
No.
They're just
did
friends.
Resistance.
Resistance, yes,
was
Resistance
Insomniac,
and Fuse.
They're very similar because they started out in the same building.
Yeah.
Sounds
We
like
talked
right.
about that last month. Go back and listen to that podcast, you guys.
do.
I lived
very
it.
good.
I don't.
I
need to
wish you were
listen
on
to
the
it.
last. Did you not know that we were talking about
I
Ratchet
had
Podcast
no
Week?
idea.
Okay. Well, I need to be better about communicating. I promise. I vow in the future, ladies and gentlemen, that I'll be better at communicating what's happening in the world.
Okay.
That was a very vague statement. What I mean is communicating to the people here at Game Over what the episode is about, so that
And
they,
let
if
Michael
they're-
know what the episode's about when he's going to be on it.
Well, that's part of it. Communicating in general. That's my new month resolution.
No, it's okay. I don't care really.
I do.
I just like to have reasons to be mad at you.
Let's just name off a few others real quickly
Yeah, totally.
because we gotta move on, and then we have a couple of listener mail things, which are co-op games. So H-Town Clyde on Instagram said Risk of Rain.
Oh,
Risk of Rain.
yeah, that's a permadeath, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a roguelike. sort of.
Roguelike, yeah.
Mhm. Co-op. Apparently, you can only do it via LAN.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not co-op like on the. It's a PC only, I believe.
Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can only do it via LAN, and apparently it's fun.
Yes. I've heard really good things about it.
Ham sack, kick, sass.
Hamsakasass.
I dig you.
Ham sack a sass on Instagram. For some reason, we got lots of Instagram comments. On
That's
this.
cool.
Nice.
Talked about House of the Dead.
Yes.
Oh, man.
That's my next
so
one.
hard.
That's a good one.
No, yeah.
Dream-
They have
Dreamcast.
that at Dave and Buster's too.
Yes.
Yeah,
shooters. Like
All the shooters.
I love all the shooters.
Time Crisis.
Oh yeah.
Vampire
great.
Knight. I had
Even newer
Vampire
like
Knight.
Ghost Squad on the Wii. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I had Vampire Knight on the PS2
KNIT.
because I was goth, and
GHT.
it was
KNIT.
vampires, and it was awesome.
Like nighttime or like a Night of the Round Table.
Like nighttime.
Okay.
Vampire Night. You fight vampires, and there's like a dramatic storyline. It's just like House of the Dead, all of them.
Sounds right up your alley.
I loved it.
Vampires.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those
Yeah.
are great.
And then the last one I have here from a viewed listener is at the Chosen Rick.
At the Chosen Rick.
It's hard to see these because it's
If
there's
you
no
read it out
spaces.
loud, I'll say it like a normal person for you.
At the Chosen Rick.
At the Chosen Rick.
Oh boy. He said Nidhogg, Nidhogg is a game. And I looked it up, and that game is versus only, not co-op.
Oh.
Apparently, unless he knows something I don't know, but what I looked up said that it wasn't co-op. And anything Mario, which on my list I had New Super Mario Bros. The first one on DS,
Yes.
where you could do wireless co-op.
Yes.
Amazing.
Me
That,
and my
blew
brother
my
would play
mind.
it. We last time we were on a plane, we played that together.
Yeah, that blew my mind. The last time you were on a plane, which was how long ago?
Like last summer.
Okay. I thought you were just like 10 years ago.
Last summer. I fly places. I'm a jet setter. I have places
Do you go to
be.
cons?
No.
Okay.
I go to cons if they're like outside my front door, and I can just
Nice.
walk out there, and not.
How often does that happen?
I was going to say how many.
I went to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to PAX.
The one.
I went to PAX. I took the train,
The other ones.
so I didn't have to drive.
I'm done talking about that. The other ones I want to mention is one that is not highly regarded, but I like it, is Alien Syndrome on the Wii, the remake of the Master System game and the arcade game.
Yeah.
I mean, you use your remote to point at where you want to shoot, top-down view, isometric.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those. And you use the joystick to move around. That's pretty much all the controls you need, and then you just fire at aliens, and it's 4-player co-op, and I love it.
It's really good.
Gyromite on the NES, which unless you have a ROB, you pretty much have to play co-op because
Right.
one person presses the A and B to up and lower the levers, and the other person plays as Professor whatever. and
Or you,
walks around
or
levels.
you're like the cheating kid who always
No, but it's
had
fun.
his little brother do it.
It's fun as a co-op puzzle platformer. Plus, it has great music, so just go play that game co-op. It's cheap. It's a cheap cartridge.
It's super cheap.
It
cartridge.
is.
Because nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Everybody got it.
Battalion Wars 2.
They need to get it.
Battalion Wars 2 on the Wii. I love the Battalion Wars games. Some people don't. I do. Sorry. And Gauntlet Legends.
It should be.
N64.
Gauntlet Legends.
Gauntlet Legends.
Yeah,
Right.
we played that at my birthday party that you were not at. Yeah. Why were you there?
I
Burn.
don't
You
have a good
better have-
excuse. I was one of the rain people. I got, and then yeah.
Like, a little bit of rain came down, and like 4 people were like, "Sorry, Dan, I can't come to your birthday party." And they were all attitudey about it.
Ooh.
I
Maybe-
helped set it up.
Maybe that was just you.
I mean, I helped your wife.
Thank you for helping my wife set up my birthday
I just don't want
party.
you to be mad at me. You're right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I haven't officially apologized.
I
That's my
forgive you.
fault.
I forgive you.
Very official now.
Taylor, any other games you feel like you should get off your chest?
I can't really I mean, besides typical stuff like Borderlands, Castle Crashers, Portal 2 had a good co-op. If
Yeah,
anyone's
that
ever
was a good
interested in
mode.
that.
That was fun with the
I
robots.
I beat Portal 1 and I have not played Portal 2 yet. And I want to play the co-op so bad.
Portal 2 is so good.
That's
It's
what I hear.
really good.
Because I loved part 1.
It's so
Flawless.
good. Yeah. The ending just blew my mind.
Yes, it's good. Check that one out. I mean, and then, there's always like Terraria was actually really fun.
Because Portal, like, there's a one-player
What is-
storyline.
What is Terraria?
It's basically Minecraft in 2D.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
that's
It's
I do
super
have
fun.
that. Yeah.
I've clocked way too many hours in that.
Yeah.
It's coming out
it's-
for Wii U soon.
It's on Wii U.
It's out?
I think it's already on Wii U. I know it's on... I think it's on 3DS, for
be-
sure.
I know they're coming out with Terraria Otherworld soon,
But
but
it's
Terraria
super
is
fun.
coming out for the Wii U.
Yeah, no. I feel like it's already on Wii
It's
U.
out now.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's $30.
No, I think you'd like it. It's like Minecraft, but I think better.
I
to
like
me-
it better.
Well, how do you-
I have
Yeah.
more direction.
Is it procedurally generated or how
It's
do you...
just
Yes.
rando.
Is it online?
You can play online.
Yeah.
You can.
I don't
or
know
you
about
can
the
do
Wii
private.
ones, but
I think.
it's
I will-
fun. And she's right. It's like Minecraft. You like upgrade your weapons. You
I
dig,
will-
build a
dig.
house.
I will consider throwing
I
some
dig.
of my
I dig it.
limited resources at that.
No, yeah, it's cool. yeah.
Awesome.
And then,
Cool.
Trine. Have either of you played Trine? It's
No.
PC.
Oh wait, I have. I'm always like, no, yes.
Trine 2 was good.
I haven't played the first one, but I played the second one.
second one's good.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's
You can play it co-op, but like I've only played one player. But you switch between 3 characters,
Yes.
and each have a different kind of power. Like the girl, the rogue, she can like do hooks on
Hook
things and then like swing.
The side scroller?
Yes,
it's 2.5D.
yes.
And then there's a wizard,
There's a wizard who can
and a-
move things in the environment with his powers, and then there's a
barbarian,
barbarian or
type,
like a knight
warrior
yeah,
person.
who's strong. But if you do multiplayer, you can.
It's
have more
really
people.
cool.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it multiplayer though,
I
but
think
that
you
seems
can
like it'd be more
Yeah,
fun.
you can even switch classes mid-game. You can just pick whatever class you want,
Let's
like
do it.
just
Let's
on
play.
the fly.
Yeah,
I'll
if you're
come by.
playing if you're playing one player, you just switch like as you're going, so you can like do stuff.
Yeah.
It's really neat. I love their environments. They're really.
I feel like they put a lot of effort into it, and they're really about their like fan base because I've seen them be like, "We're sorry about part 3."
Why?
I don't know, something happening
delayed
that
or
people were
something?
not excited about.
It's hard. It's difficult to play.
Is it?
It's quite infuriating, in my opinion, because you're trying to. It's like it's more 3D
Oh,
at this
okay.
point, so you can roam back and forth. But
Oh.
it's hard to judge because the camera is kind of bad.
I kind of had trouble with that.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate. But Trine 2 was good.
Yeah.
Have either of you played Chariot?
No,
No,
but
I've seen it.
I've read about that.
Is it
good.
co-op?
It's pretty much only co-op.
Oh, okay.
Is what I would say.
Oh yeah.
I bet you can play it single player, but
But it's like 2 of you with the like
yes,
casket,
and
right?
you have to carry the king,
the king,
around.
yeah, the king like wanted to be buried in some
a special
in a
place.
special place,
And
and
there's-
you're his children, right?
You're like a daughter and her boyfriend,
Oh, okay.
essentially.
Yeah,
And so
I
he's
love
just-
weird plots like
It's
that.
so weird.
weird.
It's so
That's
quirky.
great.
That's why I remembered it.
That sounds awesome.
and you're just like dragging a casket.
Yeah.
It's the mechanics. The puzzles are really clever, well
Because
thought
it's like
out.
2 of them attached to it, right?
Yes, so you have to swing and you have a rope and it's crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds I mean, I remember seeing it when it first coming out, and I don't know what turned me off about it. Probably the price.
Yeah.
But like,
Probably that it cost money.
I had to throw money at things. Yeah. I mean, Star Ghost was $10, and the only reason that I was looking at reviews and I was like, I don't know, maybe the thing that like made me want to buy it was the developer. He's just a cool guy. Like his interviews were like, yeah, like, you know, this idea came from the Donkey Kong Barrel Blast level in Donkey Kong Country Returns, and I really wanted to like make like a fresh thing for shmup fans and whatever, and he just seemed really cool. So I was like, okay, I'll give you some money.
That's a good way to give
Yeah.
people money.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. To decide if they're a good person, they deserve my money. It's good, yeah. We don't have any listener mail this week, unfortunately. Oh, we're gonna wrap up co-op. We're done with talking about co-op games. Star Fox co-op is fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything coming out soon that is co-op-y besides that one Wii U game? I don't
can't
have
think of
anything in my
anything.
notes. Lost Reavers for the Wii U, which is out now. That's a 4-player online co-op, like dungeon crawler.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the art direction turned me off
Oh.
instantly because it's very like Dreamcast.
Ooh.
Japanese weird.
Ooh.
I like Japanese.
I love obscure things.
I like
You
Japanese
have me at
weird.
obscure.
Like I love it. Reminds me of like Power Stone, where all the characters are just kind of like, here's this weird guy, he's a chef and he throws spaghetti, and then here's the tough guy with the sunglasses, and here's the sexy lady in the dress. Why is she dressed in a dungeon? Because we decided that.
Because she's beautiful.
Yeah, like it just seems very arbitrary, the characters that they have. But if it's fun, I'll play it again. Just bad cover for that book, I guess.
Yeah.
No listener mail this week, but there's lots of ways you can get in contact with us if you want to say something about the show, or if you have input about your favorite co-op game. We'd be happy to bring that up next episode, where we will be talking about Earthworm Jim.
Yay!
Yay, Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim is one of my favorite games of all time. The second one is just amazing. First one's pretty good. That's all I have to say about that.
Save it for next week.
Our email is podcast@gameovervideogames.com. Our website is gameovervideogames.com. Twitter, we're at gameovergames because there's not enough room to write Game Over Video Games, otherwise we would have.
Fun fact.
Our Facebook is facebook.com/gameovervideogames. Our YouTube is youtube.com/gameovervideogames. Also, fun fact, I run a YouTube channel for us. Anyway, thanks for listening to the show. We'll see you guys next month.
The biggest retro gaming convention in Texas is back with all new tournaments, live events, and special guests, plus tons of retro games and awesome video game merch. With over 6,000 attendees, last year was a little bit cramped. Well, in 2016, we've got over 45,000 square feet. That's over twice the floor space of last year. So stretch your legs and get some breathing room July 30th through 31st at the Palmer Event Center in Austin, Texas. Check out more info at ClassicGameFest.com.